Today, we're going to travel back in time, about 2,500 years, for a masterclass on a problem that feels incredibly modern: anxiety. And our teacher? None other than the great sage, Confucius himself.
I mean, seriously, think about it. In our world, with the endless notifications, the constant pressure, the whole idea of a worry-free life sounds like a total fantasy, right? Is feeling anxious all the time just the price we have to pay to live in the 21st century? Or could there be another way?
Well, according to Confucius, there is another way. He drops this incredibly bold and surprisingly simple statement in his book, The Analects. The key, he says, isn't some new app or a complicated life hack. Nope. It's a quality he calls benevolence. So, of course, that leads to the big question: what on earth is benevolence?
To really unlock this ancient wisdom, we've got to dig into this central concept. So let's explore what benevolence truly means, because as you're about to see, it's probably not what you're thinking. It's a totally fair question. In fact, one of his students basically asked him the same thing. They were wondering, okay, is being benevolent just about having good self-control? You know, not being aggressive, not being vain, not holding on to resentment, or getting totally consumed by desire. Is that the whole deal? And Confucius's answer here is just brilliant. He says, look, being able to restrain all those impulses, that is incredibly difficult and totally worthy of respect. But he stops short of calling it benevolence. He's making a really crucial point here. Benevolence isn't just about not having negative traits. It's about the active presence of something way deeper. Okay, so if benevolence is more than just inner self-control, how does it actually, show up in the real world? This brings us to a really practical guide for how to act, especially when things get messy. And this right here is the ultimate test, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty easy to be a good person when everything is going great, but what about when the government is corrupt, or when your whole society is just in turmoil? What do you do then? Do you speak out and risk everything? Or do you stay quiet and maybe compromise who you are? So here, Confucius offers this fascinatingly smart approach. It's almost like a kind of situational ethics. He says, when society is well run and things are good, be bold. Be bold in what you say and be bold in what you do. But when things are chaotic and poorly governed, you still have to be bold in your actions. Your integrity is never up for debate, but your speech should become more humble, more careful. And this isn't about being a coward, it's a strategy. It's about being effective and surviving to continue doing good.
This quote really just gets to the heart of it all. It boils down to this: don't just talk about it, be about it. Your actions are what truly count. Grand speeches and big promises mean absolutely nothing if your behavior doesn't line up. Real integrity is found in what you do.
All right, so we've seen that benevolence is way more than just self-control, and it expresses itself through wise, meaningful action. Now, we get to the core of the whole philosophy. Confucius lays out this three-part path to becoming what he calls a gentleman, which is basically his term for a person of deep, profound integrity. And the key word here, you've got to catch this, is interconnected. These aren't just separate items on some to-do list. They all grow together, they support each other, and they create this incredibly strong foundation for a stable and meaningful life.
And here they are. This is the formula. First, benevolence, the one we've been talking about, frees you from anxiety because your heart is settled and your intentions are good. Second, wisdom frees you from perplexity, from confusion, because you can see things for what they really are. And third, courage frees you from fear, because you're committed to doing the right thing no matter what the consequences are. Anxiety, confusion, fear, these three virtues are the direct antidote.
Oh, I love this part. It's this little personal moment recorded by one of the students. As soon as Confucius finished laying out this ideal person, someone free from worry, confusion, and fear, his student Zhigang immediately goes, Master, you're just talking about yourself. It's so great because it shows that for his followers, Confucius wasn't just some abstract philosopher. He was the living, breathing example of his own teachings.
So this all sounds amazing, right? But how do we actually get there? What's the work we need to put in? Well, this final part of the teaching is all about the process, which, as Confucius makes very clear, is a lifelong journey.
The whole practice is called shu ji, which means self-cultivation. And the starting point is really fascinating. When a student asked him where to even begin, Confucius' first answer was, cultivate yourself with reverence. It all starts with this internal posture of deep respect for yourself, for other people, and for the world around you.
But here's the crucial twist. This isn't about just sitting around navel-gazing or achieving some kind of personal, isolated state of enlightenment. No, this inner work has a very clear, outward-facing purpose.
The goal of all this self-cultivation is to create a ripple effect of peace. You start by working on yourself so that you can bring security and peace to the people right around you, your family, your community. But the ultimate, grand goal is to extend that peace and security to everyone. Your personal journey is directly tied to the well-being of the entire world.
But just in case we're thinking this sounds easy, Confucius ends with this perfect dose of humility. He says that this final goal, bringing peace to all people, was something that even the legendary sage kings from China's ancient past really struggled with. He's telling us that this is a noble, worthy, and profoundly difficult lifelong mission. It's the journey itself that matters. And that brings it all right back to us, here and now. It leaves us with this final, powerful question to think about. If we take this ancient framework, benevolence, wisdom, and courage, how do we actually apply it in our own lives, in our own complex world? What does that very first step of self-cultivation look like if its ultimate goal is to bring just a little more peace and security to everyone?